Welcome to Whispers and Ink, you guys. I'm Jennifer from Earl, Hampshire, and I am here to inspire you and give you permission to try something new. And we're going to be doing something new today, you guys. Something that I don't know that I've done here on YouTube in a super duper long time. I mean, like a holy cow long time. So I hope that this inspires you to try this. So these are the things that you're going to be needing, you guys. You're going to need some ink refills. You're going to need aqua painter. You're going to need a silicone craft sheet. You're going to need a stamp set. And we will be using watercolor pencils, The Fluid 100 watercolor paper, you guys. Yeah, I'm losing my mind. It's all good. I'm going to use 2 of my watercolor pencil or water painters. You guys, they come in a pack of 3, and I could only find 2. There's a super duper thick one, like this, which I love for using on the whole paper. And then there is also, I think this one is the medium one. And then there's a skinnier one. So there's 3 in a package. I went searching, you guys. It is what it is, right? Okay, so I have 2 pieces of Fluid 100. And I want to say they are 3.5 by 4 3/4. 3.5 by 4 3/4. And you guys, this is something that if you're not super brave about doing watercolor, okay, I'm not the best watercolor person in the world, you guys, but this technique that I'm doing today, I love the look, and it's not the same every time, which is the other thing that I love, but it is worth grabbing those pieces and trying it because you get a really cool look. And I have 2 pieces of Fluid 100 because I want to show you with just a couple of little extra things what you can do to even amp up this watercolor image. So let's get started. Now, I also have my Stays On Saddle Brown, and I have that because I want to use the wishing you your kindness warms my heart on the front. So I'm going to stamp the Stays On because, why are we using the Stays On, you guys? I bet you know. We're using the Stays On, you guys, because no matter how wet it gets, it doesn't go anywhere. So here is our Your Kindness Warms My Heart. And we're going to take this in our Saddle Brown. And you guys, I store my Stays On Memento inks. I store them upside down. And I try to keep that plastic piece because it helps them from drying out. Okay. So I'm going to stamp both Your Kindness Warms My Heart. I'm going to stamp both of my sentiments. Isn't that pretty? Oh, love that font. So pretty. So when you're popping in, make sure to say hello because I love being able to chat with you when you're here. And if you're catching the replay, you guys, no worries. Okay, so there's our front sentiment. Now, I'm going to put this one over here. We're going to play with this one. Now, I have Old Olive, Early Espresso, and Blueberry Bushel. And I'm thinking, if I have my, let's see, if I have my, I thought I had Misty Moonlight, you guys, but apparently not. Apparently not. I was going to mix my blueberry bushel. What I want to do with our little bird here is I want to make it a bluebird. So we're just going to have to get a little excited with the water. That's what we're going to do. So I've got my bluebird. And to get this started, I want to do a little bit of water. Okay, just a little. And I'm going to bring you guys in just a little bit closer so that you can see what all is going on. So we've got just a little bit of water, and I have just a drop of that blueberry bushel. And I have a piece of paper towel here, and I'm going all around with my stamp, like that. And then I'm going to take my bird, and I want it to look like it's kind of sitting on that branch, and I want the whole bird. So I'm going to stamp that. I'm going to pull you back. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute. I'm not worried about the splatters because that's what the paper towels are for. And here's our little watercolor bird. Isn't that cute? Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to pull a little bit of this And don't be the bird police, because I know that this is not exact, but I love the look of adding that little bit of extra stuff. And I think we're going to go to where that breast is, because I know that my bluebirds here are white-breasted. So, and we're going to leave that feathered like that. So we filled it in. Isn't that pretty? Easy peasy, you guys. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to clean off my aqua painter, get all that blue off. And then I want another little pile of water, same as last time. And I'm bringing in my early espresso this time. Now, I've seen, I only want a little drop, just like that, because I'm going to do the next piece that I'm going to do is this branch. This branch, and then that's the last part. So we're going to put this on here, and we need to pull our long block out. And I have a choice. And I think I'm going to work the branch from this side. So I'm just going to spread this ink refill. Probably going to add a little bit more because I don't need this to be super duper brown dark. I know I grabbed the early espresso, and I'm going to flip this around. I want to get some more parts on here wet. And it's going to look like this. Okay? I'm not worried about it too much. But I want to make sure that the water isn't running off. So I'm going to swipe that, and then I'm going to make sure that we're wet with the ink. And then we're going to stamp. Whew. Take a deep breath. Hold it there for a second to let it kind of sink in. And there's what we're looking at right now. Now, you could blot that if you wanted to. I'm not going to, because I want to let it sit and darken up because I like that darkened look. And I'm thinking that a Q-tip would have been a good idea to bring. So there's that. Now the last thing that I have to do is I want to do this splatter as leaves. But I have to wait till this dries. So I'm going to work on the rest of my card for just a second. I'm going to cover this without making a mess of myself. And then we're going to work on the rest of our card. So I have Early Espresso for a mat, and I have the Blueberry Bushel as my card base. Oh, here it is. So we've got that and that. Now I need a white piece for the inside. And we're going to, I want to use a little bit of this splatter from the other one. Whoops, wrong thing. Sorry. There's another splatter in here, you guys. That's a little bit more splatter and not as thick. So I'm going to grab that, and I have to grab a block. And I'm going to see what I can get from having leftovers here for our inside. Back to putting on a little bit more water, which, you guys, there's still ink on here. So you bring that water around. Can you see? There's still ink on that silicone craft sheet. So I'm going to add some splatters in here. And since we're not adding a lot of ink, it's okay to put it on your regular basic white. And then I want to do a little bit with that brown. And all I did was blot my stamp on my paper towel. So we've got the brown and the green in here, and we could, if we wanted to, we probably could get some of this tree on here, because it's still pretty wet. It's one of the things that I like about using this technique is that it adds a lot of abstract kind of look. So if I wanted it to be a little bit more defined, I could add some more water and stick my stamp in here and get a little bit more tree on our piece. This I'm going to blot just like that. See how cool that looks? I love that look, you guys. That is the look exactly that I was going for the inside. So this is still wet. So I want to do a super quick blot. And I'm going to let that sit for one more second while we put our inside piece, this piece, in our card. Now, I'm going to use this as a Mother's Day card, you guys. So, and unfortunately, I don't have a Mother's Day sentiment right now. So, I'm going to just leave my inside blank. Just like that. And then I'm going to bring in my paper towel just to make sure that there isn't any wetness, because I want to be able to close that. All right, now our last part, I want to wipe this off, the brown, and I have another piece of paper towel here, you guys. All right, so the next thing is we got to do our leaves. Well, here it is. So we've got our old olive and our water. I added like 3 or 4 splops, you guys, of water. All right, so I'm going to grab my towel, my paper towel, because I want to make sure that I'm getting my leaves where I want them. And I'm going to do it this way. Let me grab a piece of scratch paper. So that we can have our leaves down here. And there's our tree part, our leaves. And that's going to be our front. So you could, if you wanted to, you could blot this, but I like letting it sit. Okay? And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to glue this onto this. Just like that. And then this is going to go on here. And it doesn't take long with that fluid 100 to let it dry. But isn't that gorgeous, you guys? Oh, I love it. All right, so let's carefully, I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to grab my glue. And it should be almost dry. It doesn't take long for this fluid 100 to dry. So long as you don't go too crazy. And that first one I did go a little bit crazy. I do know that. But doesn't that look like it's sitting in a tree in the spring? Kind of sparse, little bit of new growth. Oh, I love it. Okay, so then the next part is we're going to carefully flip that over, and we're going to add our dimensionals to our 4 corners and 1 to the middle because we don't want a saggy belly, and we're going to tag or take off of our little tabs just like this, and we're going to put this on here. And I do think that we need one more thing, and it's right here. We're going to take some of our twine, and this, you guys, all you have to do is run this over under warm water and it cleans completely off. I'm going to take my 3 fingers and, of course, my linen thread, and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times. And then I'm going to grab my ribbon scissors. I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to take this with my reverse tweezers. You guys know how much I love my reverse tweezers. I'm going to hold that. And I don't typically, you guys, do just little bows. But I think that on this tree trunk, quote unquote, I think it would be cool, kind of branch-like, to add this to our front. Just kind of like that. Wouldn't that be a pretty card to give for Mother's Day, you guys? I think so. I know my mom would like it. So that's almost dry. I'm still trying to be careful. So a little bit of watercolor. Now I saw a picture. I got sent a picture, actually, you guys, of a bird that was watercolored, similar, different color, and that's what my inspiration was. What is your inspiration for the cards that you make, you guys? Nature? I know right now my garden is giving me lots of great nature color inspiration, but this is just a simple technique, you guys. It's just water and ink refill. We all have our ink refills, right? And a little bit of stamping. And that's it. That is all there is to it. We used Blueberry Bushel, Early Espresso, Old Olive, and we have Blueberry Bushel as our card base and Early Espresso as our background for our watercolor paper. So tell me in the comments, what do you think? Have you ever done this type of stamping before? I really would like to know. However, I want to talk one more minute because I said I was going to show you a way to kind of step that up just a little bit. So I'm going to bring this back in here, and I want to go ahead. I'm going to add a little bit more Blueberry Bushel ink. And I'm going to add a bunch more water. I'm going to grab my bird. Ooh, lots of ink on that one. Woo! There we go. And I'm going to stamp this. Oh, I love that bird. Love it. Oh, so awesome. Then I'm going to grab my Early Espresso ink, my actual Early Espresso, you guys, because I want to actually stamp this on here, because then we're going to take our green that we added our leaves. Where'd my scrap paper go? The green here. There. And then I want to use that tiny splatter. I did it in the blue because I want to add that to my bird. Just like that. And then I'm going to mix the two and add the skinnier splatter to my tree. Just like that. So it gives it a little bit more of a rougher kind of technique without doing any coloring. So adding those speckles inside of that bird instead of using the aqua painter like I did that one. Just a little bit of a different look. Pretty much the same thing though. All right, you guys. That's what I have for you today. Try some watercolor, you guys. This is the easy watercolor to me. I am not, and I will be the first to tell you, you guys, I am way not the watercolor person. I have done no line watercoloring, which you could technically do with this very easily. I have done, this is my favorite way to do it. A little bit of water, a little bit of ink refill, and you could stamp pretty much anything. If you have any questions about anything that you saw today, go ahead and put it in the comments below. But try it, you guys. It's a piece of paper. You could technically do this without the Fluid 100. My reasoning for doing the Fluid 100 was quick dry times, because that Fluid 100 doesn't pill and we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. But you could technically use basic white, or the very vanilla. If you still have shimmer white left, you could do that. It all works out. But I hope that you have a great day getting crafty, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I so look forward to seeing you guys next time. Don't forget, hit that like button, you guys. And I hope that you've subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much. Have a great day getting crafty, you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.